Do I regret starting on this bike? Hell no. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I was online conversing with a buddy on the internet, Screaming Chicken, about starting on a 600 or a liter bike, and I was just providing my thoughts on the situation with how if I would be a better rider today had I not started on this this motorcycle. I've been actually conversing with them over the past couple of days about a few different things. About you know, people talking about how they started on a liter bike, and you know, it's their first motorcycle, but you know, they've such a nice area here. Never been down this road. Anyways, how they started on a liter bike, but then you find out that they've been riding dirt bikes and stuff like that, and you know, that's not really starting out on a liter bike, right? If you have some dirt bike experience, I think it's pretty valuable experience to have, and sometimes it's a better experience than actually just riding on you know, a road. You know, a lot more things other than drivers, a lot more things can go out of whack when you're riding around on dirt. I've never had dirt bike experience. There's only ever been once where I had the opportunity as a youngster, probably like 12 or 13 years old, to ride a dirt bike, but you know, my mom didn't let me. Insert crying emojis here, you know. Yeah, she never let me do it, so I never did have a chance to ride a dirt bike when I was a kid, which is too bad. Maybe I would have got into motorcycles earlier, but yeah, so I didn't have any experience when I jumped on this bike. And this bike here was actually the second bike I've ever ridden in my life, and the first motorcycle I had ridden was in my safety course, you know, the TW200, and then jumped right into this. So what I was conversing to the Screaming Chicken, responding to him about, you know, go ahead, start on an easy or on a liter bike if you want, because you're just looking for permission to do it. And what I was saying to him was, you know, where I am today, you know, just over a year into my motorcycling experience, would I be where I am at the same level if I would have started on a smaller bike than if I started on this bike? I said, like, you know, possibly, like potentially I could have been, but I would probably be further ahead or further advanced in my my learning. You know, at the end of the day, maybe after a year and a half, I would be exactly where I am today if I would have started on a smaller bike. Having said that, I would have been at this level sooner if I would have started on a smaller bike, if that makes sense. I most likely would have been a better rider at this point if I started on a smaller bike, but let's say I got into the same spot and I'm, you know, I've caught up to where I should have been if I would have started on a smaller bike. Now, if I would have started on a smaller bike, I would have been here sooner. Let's say after 8 months, 9 months instead of the 12 months, let's say. Potentially. You know, hindsight's 20/20, but you don't know for sure. I should have worn sunglasses. Woo! That's pretty bright. But so the whole reason I want to come on here and talk about this is he's right, and I'm right, that you could start on whatever bike you want to start on. You could potentially get to where you want to be quicker starting on a small bike. But that's not the point of this video. So I wanted to ask, do you guys regret starting on the bike that you started on your motorcycling career? Whether that be, you know, if you started on a Grom, if you started on a Sportster, if you started on an MT-09, or whatever bike you started on, I really don't care. Do you regret starting on the bike that you started, and why? So that comes to me. Do I regret starting on this bigger bike? Do I think I should have started on a smaller bike? And I'm going to say no. I don't regret starting on this bike. Even after saying that, I potentially could be a better rider at this point in my riding career, or could have gotten to this point sooner in my riding career. And the reason I don't regret starting on this bike is because I started riding 2-up on this bike sooner than I probably should have, granted. But because I had the option, I had the backrest. It's a big comfy bike to ride 2-up on. I was able to ride 2-up with my wife, my daughter, and my son. So I don't regret starting off on this bike. Would it would have been fun to start off on a smaller bike? To be honest, like I said before, I didn't know enough about motorcycling. All I knew is when I was getting a bike, I wanted a Harley and I wanted to be able to ride 2-up with my wife. Those were my two criteria. Right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I'm too fat to ride 2-up on a Sportster. So that was out of the question, so it was a Softail. So I wasn't going to go to a bagger, obviously. So it was a Softail. I was going to start on a Softail. So I didn't know any better. Having ridden the Nightster and the Sportster S, I know a little bit better that there is a lot of different riding styles and thrill factors. But again, I don't regret starting on this bike. I love this bike. We've had a lot of good rides on this bike, and I think if I would have started on a smaller bike, I don't think I would have ridden 2-up quite as soon, and I wouldn't be doing the length of trips that I do right now. Me and my wife, almost every weekend, every other weekend, we do a good 2.5 hour ride out somewhere, have lunch, dinner, whatever, and a 2.5 hour ride back. I don't think I'd be doing that right now in my riding career if I would have started on a smaller bike, not riding 2-up right away. I think I still would have been figuring that part out and doing a lot shorter of rides. Would have still been doing 2-up and, you know, making it maybe an hour rides, but I don't think I would be doing the quite as far as we're doing right now. It's been quite fun, and we really enjoy it. So I, for one, do not regret starting on this bike. So I want to find out from you guys. Do you guys regret starting off on the bike? Because it could even be that, like if I would have started off on a smaller bike, like a Sportster, and thought it was too small, I might have regretted that, because, you know, you go through the process of buying the bike, riding the bike. Oh, I got to trade it in because doesn't suit the type of riding I want to do. So I might have regretted that. So even if it's a smaller bike, do you regret starting on a smaller bike? Do you think maybe if you did start on a smaller bike? So either way, let me know. Do you regret starting on the motorcycle that you started on? Again, I do not regret starting on this bike. I love this bike. My wife asked me actually this weekend, you know, if she was, I'm getting so close, guys, I'm getting so close. If she was to get a bike, would I be trading this bike in and getting a different one? And I told her no. I'm 100% for this bike. I love this bike. I want to keep this bike until my son or daughter is of age, and I want to be able to hand this bike down to them. Like, I want this to be my bike. This is my permanent bike, and yeah, it's something I want to hand down to them one day. A lot more miles on it, hopefully, but yeah, doesn't mean I won't get another bike, but for now, this is my bike. So anyways, I've talked your ear off enough. Let me know down in the comments, do you guys regret the bikes you guys started on? Anyways, until next one.